Hi there, this is Datila, and welcome to the Wrestling Time Post Show. And for tonight, I'm reviewing Monday Night Raw. Alright, so let's get things started. So, Monday Night Raw kicked off with a Judgment Day promo. And so, Dominic got on the microphone and he was talking about how he proved all the haters wrong because he beat AJ Styles. Mind you, he beat AJ Styles because Rhea Ripley got involved. And he says he's just built differently. He goes on to mention that he is this generation's Eddie Guerrero, but then he corrects himself and says that Eddie Guerrero was his generation's Dominic Mysterio. And then as he was about to finish talking, the OC interrupts. I have to say, Dominic calling Eddie Guerrero the Dominic of his time and comparing himself to Eddie Guerrero, that deserves a boo. Like, I don't think he's even at Eddie Guerrero's level, but it was a way to get booed, and I think he got himself booed perfectly. So basically, like, Styles comes out and he starts to say that instead of comparing himself to Eddie, he should compare himself to James Ellsworth. And Doc Gallows calls him Jimmy No Chin, which I thought was hilarious. So once again, like last week, there was a Bullet Club reference when Finn Balor said that he had started this stupid club. So this time around, Finn Balor says, "Did you see Rhea Ripley's strength on Luke Gallows and Nikki Cross returns for an outrage at Bianca?" And yeah, I was just about to talk about that. So basically, like, Finn Balor accuses AJ Styles of hiding behind the club that he started, and that everyone who's come after him is living off his legacy. And he tells him to step up or get put down, which kind of sounds like the um Blackpool Comebacks clubs. You step up, you get either step up, you get stepped on. So kind of reminds me of that. I don't know if anybody else caught that. And so this whole segment leads into Karl Anderson versus Finn Balor. And I honestly really have to say, like, I actually really like this opening segment. That was a good way to open up Raw. Judgment Day has been on a roll, and they've been booked pretty strong since Triple H took over. So the match itself was actually not a bad match. I actually really liked the match. Anderson was getting the best of Balor at the very beginning. Of course, Finn Balor turned things around. I really like that neckbreaker from the second rope to Finn Balor. I like that superplex that Karl Anderson did to Finn Balor. Now, here's the thing. And I said this last week, and I'm going to say it again this week. Rhea Ripley will always play a factor in the outcome of Judgment Day matches, and I'll tell you why. So, Damian Priest launched AJ Styles onto the announce table, and Doc Gallows gave Priest a big boot. Rhea Ripley then sent Doc Gallows into the ring post, and she power slammed him. So Rhea Ripley showing off her strength, and then she did the whole too sweet thing, and she gave a low blow to Karl Anderson. So no matter what, give me 1 second, guys. Actually, no, I think I'm good. So, give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. I do apologize about that. So you were saying last week, Rhea Ripley will always play a factor in Judgment Day's matches because she's always going to get involved. And it's interesting to note because later on in the night, the OC says that they have a plan to take care of Rhea. So I want to know what that plan is. I mean, because in a blow-off match, is she going to get banned from ringside? Are they going to recruit someone to temporarily join them to get on Rhea? So I don't know. And I'm very interested to see where this is going to go. But because of Rhea's interference, Finn Balor picks up the win. And again, like I said, Judgment Day has been booked pretty strong since Triple H took over. And I actually really like the whole entire opening segment and opening match. I think, in my opinion, that was probably the best part of Raw. Then we had a quick backstage segment with Johnny Gargano and The Miz. And we actually had a lot of these backstage segments with Johnny Gargano and The Miz. The whole point of the segments was that Johnny Gargano wanted The Miz to reveal the truth of him and Dexter Lumis. But Miz, of course, denies that there's anything going on. And I don't know what the whole point of these backstage segments were with Johnny Gargano and The Miz. But when The Miz comes out, he comes out to the ring, I should say. He starts talking about how, like, we haven't seen Tommaso Ciampa in weeks. And that Dexter Lumis, Raw felt like a Vince Bruce Pritchard show tonight. It definitely did. It definitely did feel like a Bruce Pritchard show tonight. This did not feel like a Triple H show. So this whole segment, like, Johnny Gargano comes out and basically says that if Ciampa was Miz's best friend, he would know Ciampa was out with an injury. We don't know what type of injury, but I guess that explains why Ciampa has been MIA. For some odd reason, R-Truth comes out. And this leads into R-Truth versus The Miz. I do like the fact that commentary acknowledged that R-Truth and The Miz were a tag team in the past. You know, they were the Awesome Truth. And they did, I believe, mention their tag match against Rock and Cena. Speaking of John Cena, R-Truth paying homage to John Cena by attempting to do the 5-knuckle shuffle before The Miz unfortunately stopped it. My God, this segment was cringe. So the whole Miz segment and the whole match against R-Truth, I was not a big fan of. This definitely felt very sports entertainment-like. This definitely felt like a Vince McMahon booking type thing. So, as you guys know, Triple H was unfortunately sick last week and was not present at neither the Raw or the SmackDown tapings. He did come back this week, but you know what? Let me just go ahead and actually, I'll talk about that at the end. But he was here this week, and Road Dogg was put in charge. So that would explain a couple things. But overall, I was not a huge fan of the Miz segment, of the R-Truth segment, and all the backstage segments with the Miz and Johnny Gargano. So we get a backstage segment. So many backstage segments tonight with Candice, LeRae, and Damage Control. And basically, I reached for my pillow and then I cooked during this match. I don't blame you. I should have eaten dinner during this match. So pretty much, like, Candice LeRae is talking about how she's had the support of Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, since she came onto the main roster. And then, of course, Damage Control shows up and they take her out. But I did like the fact that Candice LeRae said that Dakota Kai is so spiteful and Io Sky is not trustworthy. So I'm very curious to see where this leads to. I wonder if this is going to lead to War Games. It seems like they're taking out everybody related to Bianca. So I wonder if that's going to potentially lead to maybe a Sasha Banks Naomi return. Very curious to see where all this is going to lead to. We got an Elias Matt Riddle segment, which I honestly did not mind because I like Elias and I don't mind walking with Elias. But basically, like, Elias we made his return last week. And he makes it known that he has a long history of being interrupted, which is true. And that he was going to do something about it. But he's going to let this slide with Riddle. And the whole gist of this ends up being that Elias challenges Chad Gable to a match later on tonight. And I actually really like the fact that Matt Riddle's disappointed over the fact that he's not in a band with Elias. Walk with NyQuil, LOL. No, that is mean. I like Elias. We get a Mustafa Ali Austin Theory match. It was a good match. Seth freaking Rollins was on commentary, which I felt added to this match. Now, I have to say, I was a little worried because Austin Theory was getting the better of Mustafa Ali at the beginning, but Mustafa Ali was able to turn things around. But now, I really wanted Mustafa Ali to win, but it makes sense why he didn't win. Because, like I said, Seth Rollins was on commentary. He distracted the referee, and Austin Theory hits the A-Town down. So at the end, there's a post-match assault. Rollins is just beating up on Ali, telling him that he does not belong in the ring with him. He sends him into the crowd. And then as Seth Rollins is walking away, out of nowhere, Mustafa Ali attacks Seth Rollins, sends him crashing into the LED lights, and says he's not going anywhere. So what I liked about this was that it adds another layer to the Mustafa Ali Seth Rollins rivalry, and on top of that, Austin Theory finally ends his losing streak of matches. So I really did like that. But I really wanted Mustafa Ali to win, but again, I understand why he did not. It adds to the story that they're telling with him and Seth freaking Rollins. But what did you guys think of Austin Theory versus Mustafa Ali? So again, we get another backstage segment with, again, Johnny Gargano. And he had a lot of these segments with The Miz. But in this case, JBL approaches him and tells him to introduce himself to a legend. And Johnny Gargano makes note of the fact that he was 8 during the Attitude Era. Mustafa Ali deserves better. He does deserve better. And one of the things I liked about this segment was that Johnny Gargano, JBL Maggle, yeah, it was that that Johnny Gargano calls Baron Corbin Constable Corbin. He's just calling him by his previous names, which I thought was really cool. And Johnny Gargano calls JBL MC Hammer Pants because you had those big pants last week. I don't know what that was about last week, but oh my god. But the whole point of this segment was that it was supposed to lead into a match between Baron Corbin and Johnny Gargano. We have a 4-on-1 handicap match, Omos versus 4 local jobbers. I saw Black Adam today, and it was better than Rawful tonight. I actually saw Black Adam last night, and I don't know about you, but I kept thinking of Diamond Dallas Page whenever they did that whole gesture thing on Black Adam. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. But there's nothing more to say about this handicap match besides the fact that it was nothing more than a squash match. And yeah, it was a squash match. He beat up 4 guys, local jobbers. There's not more to it. And, we're doing this to build him up, make him look like a monster, more of a monster against Braun Strowman. That match, Braun Strowman versus Omos, is either going to be a disaster or it's going to be somewhat decent. I'm hoping it's somewhat decent, but I think the majority of us expect it to be a disaster. Omos match, the NyQuil for me was a 4. Just might as well book it to a 10 on a 1 handicap match. Actually, fun fact. Impact did that with W. Morrissey. Was a 9-on-1 handicap match. And if you guys remember on AEW, we had the 20-on-1 handicap match with Wardlow and those officers. So wouldn't surprise me if WWE tries to do something like that either. We had Chad Gable versus Elias, which I didn't think was a bad match. I thought it was actually a pretty decent match. Oh my god, the one spot here was when Chad Gable was doing that moonsault, and Elias got him in the face with that knee. That looked terrible. And I liked how Elias mocked Chad Gable. He called him shh. He says shit to him, which I thought was hilarious. And I'm actually really glad that Elias ended up with a victory here. So at the end, of course, Otis attacks Elias, and Matt Riddle comes out to save Elias. So I wonder if this means they're going to pair up Elias and Matt Riddle together. Maybe kind of recreate. I don't want to say recreate the RK Bro, but Matt Riddle seems to do good with the serious partner. Like, look at when he was on NXT and he was with Pete Dunne and he did the Broser weights, which I actually really like the Broser weights. You had the serious guy and Pete Dunne, and then Matt Riddle, who was like the funny dude. And then you had RK Bro, Randy Orton being serious and Matt Riddle being all hilarious. So I can kind of see that in Elias and Matt Riddle. That spot was great with the moonsault and Elias kicking Gable. Yeah, it was. But, I mean, especially if Randy Orton is not going to be able to come back anytime soon, I guess it would make sense to kind of pair up Riddle with somebody. We get Baron Corbin versus Johnny Gargano. But before the match starts, JBL cuts a promo basically talking about how, like, Charlotte, North Carolina turned the GOAT Michael Jordan into a loser. And then that's because apparently he owns the Charlotte Hornets, who are not a good team, apparently. And I wasn't a big fan of this match. Johnny Gargano, at one point during the match, he steals JBL's hat and he starts acting like a cowboy. He starts like pretending I don't know what that was about, but did not scream like a scream that screamed sports entertainment like. And so JBL like trips Johnny Gargano and it allows Baron Corbin to hit the end of days. JBL promo, I give a Mago 10, Corbin a 2. JBL managing Corbin's not gonna get him over. I don't really get this whole wrestling god gimmick with Baron Corbin. He's just, to me, he's not believable as a wrestling god, and I don't think Baron Corbin has what it takes to be an effective heel like JBL. I mean, you can make Baron Corbin a heel, but not as effective as JBL. I mean, JBL, he was arguably one of the best heels of his generation, like one of the best. He just was so good at getting people to hate him and to boo him. With Baron Corbin, I mean, he gets boos, but not at that level that JBL got. And I don't mind the pairing, but it's going to take a lot to get Baron Corbin to that level. So we got like a quick backstage segment with Bianca Belair. And she's basically talking about how she's outnumbered and that her match with Bayley is like payback because Bayley's taking out all her friends. So this leads into the main event, Bayley versus Bianca Belair. Mind you, it's a non-title match. So the match wasn't bad. I didn't mind it. I like that Bayley attempted to do a KOD to Bianca, and then Bianca turned it around and tried it and did a belly to Bayley. So I like that they use each other's finishers. They need to make Baron Corbin be the lone wolf again. Yeah, definitely. Definitely they do that lone wolf. Actually, no. You know what? Breaking back. Broke Baron Corbin. I actually really liked Broke Baron Corbin. He was eating spaghetti out of a can and instead of Wagyu beef. That was hilarious. So another spot that I liked around here was when Bianca did the powerbomb to Bayley on the announce table and then onto the ring post. And then, like, the ref obviously saw that Dakota Kai and Io Sky got involved. And so he sent them to the back. But then after that, like, we couldn't see at first who it was, attacked the ref. They attacked Bianca, which allowed Bayley to win. Then at the end, this person attacked Bayley, which ended up being Nikki Cross. So maybe we're seeing the return of old crazy Nikki, the Nikki that was Insanity. Maybe we'll see that. I'm not sure where this is gonna go though, but I am intrigued. So like, is she gonna be like and I tapped out before the match. I tapped out before this match for the show. Yeah, definitely. I don't blame you. Okay. So overall, tonight's show was not a good show. Aside from the opening match and a couple of matches here and there, it was okay. Like, it started off really strong, but I don't know what happened along the way. But Fightful Select did report that Triple H is back running tonight's WWE Raw. He was sidelined from last week's show because he was sick, but was told he was feeling okay and just frustrated he had to miss the event. Road Dogg filled in during his absence, and most of the show was written by the day before, as was SmackDown. So this report kind of tells me that maybe it was Road Dogg who wrote tonight's show, and it kind of feels that way because, like I said, there was a lot of sports entertainment stuff going on. It did not feel like that Triple H show that we have gotten used to over the last couple weeks. This felt very Vince McMahon, Bruce Pritchard. I can't help to think that maybe Bruce Pritchard influenced Road Dogg a little bit during this. So tonight's show was just not good. Again, it started off strong. I really liked the Elias match. And I liked the Mustafa Ali Austin Theory match because I got what they were going with that. But it was just not a good show. Not a good show. And next week, not only is next week Halloween, but next week is also the Go Home Show 2 Crown Jewel. And we all know that WWE's Go Home shows are not that good. 3 out of 10 show, terrible filler show. By the way, did you see my movie hunting? It gave you a shout out for 3. Oh, really? Okay, I'll definitely check it out. I saw a little bit of it, but I didn't finish seeing it. So I'll definitely continue. I'll definitely give you a shout out. But I'm gonna be a little generous and give this a 5 out of 10. Just because I did like some stuff and it wasn't a total total bore. But yeah, this was just a terrible show all around. But with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching. It means a lot that you guys still continue to watch. I do want to say I did get the yellow power morpher. I know I said this like 2 weeks ago, and I do apologize for the delay, but I did film the unboxing of the yellow power morphers. That should be out tomorrow, so make sure you watch out for that. But with that being said, you guys, once again, thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday live after AEW Dynamite. Bye.